Hello and welcome back to Off Track Podcast with me, Dave Neal, and to this Motorcycle Live 2025 special. We're delighted to bring you AJ and Steelstock Bimota's Joe Talbot and the Honda Triumvirate of Ryan Vickers, Jason O'Halloran and Jack Kennedy. It was a great time down at the show. It was good to catch up with a few people before the winter break and have a good long chat with Duncan Vincent as well, who was down on the Kawasaki stand. Always great to see DV because we didn't get a chance to say cheerio at the end of Brands. And that sets us off now into the winter to bring you some more chats and really carry on building what is the joy that is Off Track Podcast. You may have noticed we're going fortnightly for the time being. We've got a few things that need ironing out behind the scenes. We've had a busy time of it of late, and we just need to balance things out a little bit more. We've got some great chats coming up. We're with Roger Burnett on Thursday, back at Laceby Manor. An interesting chat onto the comings and goings of World Superbike, the story behind Ryan Vickers' move back to BSB from the World Superbike Championship, and just an overview on rider contracts and that side of things, because it's fascinating enough, and we see a certain Moto2 team has done the same thing that it did to Rory Skinner and to Sean Dillon Kelly. It just happens far too often, doesn't it? So it'll be interesting to get Roger's take on that side of things. And then in a week and a half's time, as I record this, just over a week and a half, we're back at the Mullsdale Foundation in Glasgow. We're sat down with two Scottish legends in John Crawford and Stuart Easton. We'll be bringing you that chat in a 3 weeks or 4 weeks' time. But if you want your tickets, head to mullsdalefoundation.org. Come and join us up at the Mullsdale Foundation in Glasgow. It's going to be a great day with two great riders. And also you get free entry to the museum as well, which is just, it has to be seen to be believed. As most of you who followed the channel, you know our affiliation and our affinity to the foundation. So if you have the opportunity to come and join us, please do. Or if you have an opportunity, anytime you're up over the border and you're near Glasgow, make sure you come down to the open days that they're slated for next year as well. There's two more this year, one including us, one just before Christmas. And then we'll be back up there at the end of January for a very special family show. We'll bring you more news on that nearer the time. As I said, we'll be doing this 2 weekly before we get to the new year. We've got a few things that we need to iron out. It's been an amazing 2.5 years so far with some fantastic guests, and a massive thank you to you, whether you're listening on audio, whether you're watching on YouTube. You are the lifeblood of what we do. So to this point in time, thank you so much for your engagement, for your love for the show, and for your positivity in helping us keeping this going, and to our fantastic patrons as well, who look after us every month and help keep this show on the road. They help us get to our destination, and they help us stay overnight, and they help with the running costs of this show as well, because there's software costs behind the scenes. There's all sorts going on. And finally, a massive thanks to everybody that's sponsored us over the last 2.5 years. You know who you are. We'll put a list up at the side of all our previous sponsors for the last 2.5 years. We're not going anywhere. We've just got to realign things a little bit at the moment. We've got to make sure we get all our ducks in a row, and then we will be back full bore, probably after Christmas, but we'll be back full bore. Make no mistake about that. Everybody gets a little bit jaded. Everybody gets a little bit tired of things. I know we've spoken to a few people who do podcasts over the last couple of months, and it does take its toll. It is a difficult job. It is full on 7 days a week with social media, with the organizing, with the editing. It's all done in-house here. It's all done in our little back bedroom in East Lancashire. It's not a pity party, not by any stretch of the imagination. We love what we do. It's a great thing, and we love bringing you the content, and we love bringing you the riders, the team owners, the bosses, the mechanics, all the background side of things that we do. It's a fantastic opportunity for us all to bring the people to life and into your living room, into your ears. We love doing it. Anyway, let's crack on. Here we go. Let's just give you a bit of an update and a bit of an overview as to where we're at this point in time. A big thank you to everybody that makes this show what it is. That's you, the viewers, you, the listeners, our patrons, and our sponsors. And of course, Jennifer as well in the background, who keeps me on the straight and narrow. Let's get on with this first chat. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to Off Track, Ryan Vickers. Ryan Vickers, Honda Racing UK. That's got a ring to it. Welcome back, mate.
Thank you very much. Yeah, really excited. It's great to be part of such a big manufacturer and, and being the official team.
Not what we were expecting. We know that it's been fairly public that you had the one season in World Superbike. I guess if that was going to be the reason, you maybe wouldn't have gone in the first place, but the experience that it's given you with the previous team and the previous manufacturer to come back to BSB, you're coming back a different rider.
Yeah, exactly. I can only be proud of what I've achieved in my first year. There's always going to be ups and downs in the first year, but predominantly we were on the way up and improving most rounds, and we battled some amazing people and had some great races and showed our potential. Unfortunately, that came to a close for whatever reason, and yeah, it's like you say, I can only be happy with how it's gone, take on the knowledge and experience that I've gained from it, and set my ambitions now to try and win BSB, and you never know, that might lead to something again.
I think with the manufacturer with Honda Racing UK, the manufacturer and the position that it's in with World Superbikes as well as BSB, there's a path there for you should the results come the way that we expect to go into.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Honda Racing British Superbikes are racing World Superbikes, so for sure, if you do well and you show that you're worthwhile for them to have you on their bike, then for sure there could be an opportunity. But that's down to what I do on this bike. So, you know, although I'd love to go back in World Superbikes, I need to solely focus on this in BSB and really put everything into it, because if I don't get this right, I'll never go back. So that's the thing. It's one of those, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm liking working with Honda, and, you know, their ambition is to win, and I'd love to be that rider that brings them back to the top.
You've been on the Superbike already, and you've been on the development bike at Jerez after the end of the season. What are your initial thoughts on the Superbike?
Yeah, great. You know, never ridden a Honda at all, never ridden a stock bike, never ridden anything. My first time on a Honda was the factory World Superbike. So, you know, first of all, it's great to be working in a factory team. You realize what you're up against riding in the satellite team. You know, the level of expertise and the amount of people and all of the resources you have is absolutely incredible. So that was amazing. You know, just the whole day was just an enjoyment. And the bike was great. I felt good on it. The chassis was good, and I was able to give Honda a lot of information on how they can improve the bike. So I was really happy with that. They were happy with me, and yeah, hopefully we can have quite a lot of input.
We've spoken 4 or 5 times over this season, which has been a pleasure as always. What's the biggest thing you're bringing back to BSB now from 12 months in World Superbikes?
Nothing what in particular, you know, but just, you know, you've been riding with the best guys in the world, and people with so much experience, and working with real top level engineers in Ducati and stuff like that. You learn a lot by looking at data, because we got to see all of the data. You learn a lot by these riders and understanding what they're doing on the bike to be able to optimize every type of corner and every type of situation, and, you know, just more experience, and also just riding at a higher level. I think that's something that will be beneficial.
We can't wait to see you back in the championship. Right? No, wrong at all. Thank you for joining us here at the Motorcycle Live. Can't wait to see you back on track with us next season. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Ryan Vickers. It is really good to see Ryan back in the British Superbike Championship. We'd rather see him in the World Superbike Championship. There's no question of that, but he's coming back a stronger rider. He's in a great position with Honda Racing UK, and I can't wait to see how he gets on with that Fireblade. Next season, we've spoken about this to a few people over the weekend. 2026 British Superbike Championship. If you could pretty much handpick to put any rider on any machine that they wanted to be on to give them the best opportunity of winning a race and winning the championship, next year's about as strong as it's going to look. So we can't wait to get 26 sorted. Especially we can talk about that now. 25 is done and dusted, and we have a back-to-back champion in the shape of the brilliant Kyle Ryde. Another returnee to the championship. He left as a Kawasaki rider. He returns as a world endurance champion. He's an Aussie, but he's a Lincolnshireman, really, because he's been there long enough. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Off Track, Jason O'Halloran. Jason O'Halloran, Honda Racing UK, welcome back to the championship as world champion as well, and congratulations on that. It's good to see you back, mate.
Yeah, thanks very much. It's obviously only been away for 1 year, but returning as a world champion, which obviously feels really, really proud of that achievement. But looking forward to getting back into BSB, and you know, Honda was a huge part of my career in the early, you know, the first part of it, the first part of Superstock, then into Super Sport, then the Superbike. And to be returning to these guys after a bit of a stint away is cool, you know. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
There's a rich history with the team. We know, as you said, through Superstock, Super Sport, through Superbike. It is a big homecoming for you, and to come back as world champion, for me, that shows the mark of the rider that we lost at the end of 2024.
Yeah, it's at the end of 24, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but when the opportunity presented itself, I knew what I wanted to do. So that's why I ended up going and riding for the guys over at Yacht. It was perfect because it was something completely different. It was a new experience. I was learning every weekend, and it was exciting. It was new tracks, it was new team members, it was a new style of riding. But to win that in my first year, it's you need so much to go in your favor in endurance racing, and it doesn't always happen like that, So to win Le Mans, to win the World Championship, 3 podiums out of 4, only 1 DNF. I thought when this opportunity came up, to go in for a year, win it, step out, come back here, it's perfect, So yeah, we'll give this a good shot. And BSB is super tough, There's no question on that, When I was in it before, it was hard. It's hard now, but with the right tools, I still think that I'm capable of winning, and I'm sure that Honda are going to give us the right tools.
It's also in a strange kind of juxtaposition. Dan Linfoot last year, yourself winning the World Endurance Championship this year, both teammates at Honda back in about 10 years ago now. Is it fair to say that in the position that you were in at the end of 24, taking the opportunity away from something that you've loved for so long to see if you still love it, try something else, and then come back again because the fire is clearly still there, and you're coming back with renewed optimism and more fire in the belly than I've seen in you for a while at BSB?
Yeah, for sure. It was good to step away from it and take a bit of stock, because if I stepped away from it and done what I've done this year and didn't feel anything towards it, then I could have stayed away. But I clearly do feel something towards it because, the opportunity was still there to stay in endurance. I just became world champion, and I decided that I was coming back here. So there was a drawback, and I think when you're doing racing and you have to feel it, and if it feels right, you've got to follow your gut instinct and give it a go. This year I did that. None of my decisions at the end of 24 were based on emotion or any other factors other than I sat down and went, what do I want to do? And I wanted to do that, and the end result was world champion. And I think if you follow that path and you do exactly what you want to do, the outcome's going to be what you want. So, yeah, we'll give it a shot.
Oh, look at the state of this. As if this man has to come in as well. Shaky, good to see you, mate. Everything all right? Always a pleasure. You're full of food as well, and coming in, yeah, we're recording live, and Shaky Byrne comes in as well. Is he? Good, no, because he's just stopped it, that's why. Shaky, he can't help himself, can he? It's good to see him about with that big cheeky grin on his face. But what's the biggest thing you missed about being in BSB, apart from being at home on a Sunday night?
Yeah, for sure. I've said it a couple of times today, actually. We're so lucky in BSB, you travel to the race on the Thursday, you travel home on Sunday night. Everything's within a couple of hours of each other. There's no long haul flights. There's none of, there's none of that stuff. So BSB, we're really lucky. I miss the pure performance of BSB. Maximizing your potential and the bike's potential for 30 minutes, not about over the course of 24 hours or fuel strategy or this strategy. It's about performance. You have to be the best performance. And I miss that. And I miss the feeling at the end of a race when you win, you just get this roar of emotion, you can't control the emotion that you get. And you still get that in endurance, but it's more of a team feel, and it's on the same level, but it's different. And this year in endurance, I loved the feeling between the team. You've got three of you have to do your bit, not just you, and that's just the riders. Then you've got the whole team that have to do their part. So it was I don't know how to explain it, but it was a really good feeling at the end that you could all share. But as bike racers, we're selfish, and I want to feel that winning feeling again at the end of a BSB race, stood on the podium with a trophy up, and that's what I'm going back to do.
And when you look at the entry list for next year, you look at who's on what manufacturer and what's going on in the championship, anybody who stands on the top step of that podium in 2026 is going to have earned it, I think, more than in the last few years with the depth of field that's coming in.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's probably one of the toughest years for a long time. every year seems to get tougher and tougher, but this year there's some big names on the grid, all on good bikes. And we're going to have to be on our A game to be at the front of that. And I'm going to do my part over the winter, as everyone will, but I'll do my normal program, my normal plan. Honda will put the testing program in place, and I'm sure we'll get out and do a lot of testing. And we'll turn up with the best package we can and see where we are. And I think if I turn up the best possible version of me and we get the best potential out of the motorcycle, then it'll be good enough to be at the front. And I'm looking forward to it.
Can't wait to see you back out on track. Jason, thank you for your time here at Motorcycle Live. Great to see you back in the championship, and we'll see you at Alton Park in May.
Thank you very much.
A massive thank you to Jason. Great to have him back in the championship. The experience and the talent that fella has is not lost on anybody. And he really does have that fire in his belly to come back to the British Superbike Championship, make his mark on the championship, and fight for that title that he's yet to win. There's a lot of people that are pushing for their first title next year as well. So that's going to bring another fascinating dynamic to the championship. And also big thanks to Shaky Byrne for just coming in and saying hello and giving everybody a hug. He can't help himself. He's such good fun to see him. And you knew he was going to do it. He can't help him. Shaky's shaky. It was good to see him down at the show, and he's on really good form as well. So big thank you to Jason. Big thank you to Shaky as well. Last but not least, certainly not least, from the Honda stand from Motorcycle Live is our multiple Supersport champion, the brilliant Jack Kennedy.
Well, the final chat on the Honda stand for Motorcycle Live, 5 times British Supersport champion, the legend that is, it's Jack Kennedy. Jack, welcome back to Off Track, mate. It's great to see you.
Cheers, thanks for having me. It's good to see you, and it's good to see so many people at Motorcycle Live.
I can't believe how busy it is. It's an incredible day. It's only the second day of the show, but it's a fantastic turnout. Great to see you back in Honda Red for another season. Been a tough year for you this year with everything that goes on in terms of the mechanical side of things. We don't need to go in that because most people are aware of what you're racing against. From your point of view, how was the season?
Good. Some great races, some great battles, some great wins. But like you say, a tough year for competition, basically. The depth of field has just increased so much in the class. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Like last year, there was probably 3 of us battling for a win. Now it seems to be 6 to 8 people battling for a win every time. Every time you come across the start finish, you see our board, you see +0, G6 or G7 or G8, and you're just like, give me a break. But no, it's been great, and I'm sure it's been a little bit more exciting for people to watch as well. It's such a big group and not the same 3 on the podium all the time. So it's great to see the depth of field in the class, the amount of interest in the class, and every round we go to, there seems to be 40 odd bikes on the grid as well. So it's absolutely stacked. Really enjoyed riding the Honda this year, battling with all the other bikes, and I'm ready to do it again for another year.
Where does the motivation and the drive come from? Because every year you turn up, we spoke earlier on at Snetta, turn up on the stage, and you turn up in the best shape possible. You make all the best preparations that you can. You're immaculate at every point, as Jack Burnicle pointed out on the stage earlier on. I was listening. But where does the drive and determination come from to keep going? Because you keep turning up year on year, and you're up there year on year.
I actually don't know. I'm not sure. It's just sort of inside me, in me. There's no sort of getting away from it. There's no denying it. I'm still hungry, still driven, still passionate, still enjoying it, still fast, which is the main thing. So just kind of keep going, keep doing it. I'm so hungry to still do well on the 600 and in the class, even though I've won the championship 5 times. I'm still as hungry as I ever was before I ever won one. So I'm just enjoying it, enjoying my racing, enjoying the training, enjoying the feeling of winning. I don't think anybody will ever get tired of that. So I'm in a good place mentally, physically, and still fast, like I said. So just going to keep it lit, as they would say.
Is it right that even at the experience that you have across all of the series that you've raced in, that you're developing as a rider every year still? You never stop learning. What's the biggest thing you've taken away from this year?
That when you think you're on the limit, there's still another little bit more to go. This year we've gone faster everywhere than we did last year on the 600cc, and we've gone underneath lap records, we've set new lap records and gone faster than what I ever thought was possible on the 600cc. So I think that's the biggest thing to take from it. I think, like I say, the depth of field and the class in the class has made me up my game. I've had to. Like I said before, if you get complacent or stand still, you get left behind in most sports. So stayed hungry, stayed passionate, and keep working hard to be even faster. And we've done that this year, like I said, gone quicker than I ever have before, which I didn't think was possible because I thought I was on the limit already. So yeah, just keep evolving, and hopefully we can make the same step this year as we did last year, with going even faster again, because we will need to if we want to bring home another championship.
How much you're enjoying the process of getting the best out of the little 600, because it is a project, it is a group job with Honda UK to get the best out of the CBR 600 RR against bigger CC'd opposition. How much you're enjoying the process of extracting every little bit out of the little CBR?
Yeah, it's good. It's enjoyable. It's hard, obviously, riding something on its limit or past its limit all the time. But there's definitely quite a good satisfaction out of it when it all does come together and when it pays off. When you get them wins, it feels probably a little bit sweeter than what it normally would, because you're riding so hard and riding over the limit to beat bigger CC bikes. But we're doing it, and there's no better team to do it with the resources that Honda have with HRC and the development with the bike and the input from the factory as well. So it's a great place to be, and like I said, I'm just really enjoying my racing.
Doesn't look like there's too many people moving on for next season out of the championship. So apart from Joe Talbot moving up to the Bimota team, it's going to be pretty much as you were next season, against the same faces, with a few of the younger lads stepping up. Not going to be any easier, is it?
No, it never really gets any easier. I think we've got a few of the top riders in the class moving to different manufacturers as well, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But all I know is that we can hit the ground running because we've got some good information, good data and good knowledge with the CBR 600RR on all the UK tracks now as well. So I know I can hit the ground running. So yeah, bring it on.
Can't wait to see it. Enjoy the winter, enjoy Christmas and the New Year. We'll see you at Alton Park in May. Ladies and gentlemen, the brilliant Jack Kennedy.
A big thanks to Jack for joining us on the stage. He's always great fun. Do you know what? I'll let you into a little secret. For many seasons, I didn't approach Jack to come on the show because he always has a really cross face on a weekend. And you sometimes you don't want to approach people who have quite a serious face over a weekend. And you just nod and say hello, and you just, hi Jack, all right? How are you, Dave? And then he's like, maybe you want to come on, maybe he doesn't. And then when he was riding for Martrain Yamaha a couple of seasons ago, we had him on at, I think it was Cadwell Park. It might have been Cadwell or Donington. I can't remember where we were. And he was an absolute joy. And he remains an absolute joy. So massive thanks to Jack Kennedy. And we wish Jack, Jason, and Ryan all the very best for 2026 on their Honda machines. And a big thanks to Alex Shenton at Honda as well for organising the chats for us at Motorcycle Live. The final chat from Motorcycle Live. Let's head over to the Kawasaki stand. Let's sit down with a BSB debutant. He finally gets his chance in the big class, and I can't wait to see him get started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Off Track, Joe Talbot.
AJ and Steelstock Bimota, Joe Talbot, BSB rookie. You've got your chance, mate. Welcome to the big league.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. It's days like this is where it comes to reality. Obviously, I signed the deal with Darren and Nigel, and then you come to the show and you do some talks and you're like, yeah, we're going. So I'm excited.
It's nice to see you. You've got all the kit on. Everything's now, after the start we had last year when things didn't go as well. We spoke at Alton Park, and it took a while to come back from that. I think there's a lot of people out there that maybe underestimate the impact that the folding of OMG Racing had on you, to then have to reset, go again, joining 3B Construction in the Supersport class with Binch Pro and Ollie Barr as your teammate. It's a full reset, but good things come to those who wait and work their arse off again.
Yeah, at the start of the year was for sure probably the toughest moment I've had in my career up to date, but can't thank Alan Gardner enough. He put me in connections with Dave Binch and we got going. It was hard though for the first 3 rounds. It was hard because I was trying to think. I was looking at the Superbike pre-practice session. I was looking at the qualifying session. I was looking like, oh, I should be in it. I wish I was in it. And I was I had to switch my mindset even 3 rounds in to, right, this is what I'm in, Joe. You need to, because there's fast lads in here, I need to sort myself out, and I need to focus on the job at hand. So it took me a while to do that, but when I did that, I started getting better results, and I thought, right, this is the class I'm racing, and I've got to go and race this Ducati. So as soon as I did that, I was happy. It was a tough year, challenging year, but we did okay. So the goal was to get back into Superbikes, and I've achieved that. So 2025 was a tick.
You can see it on the results when you look on the TSL timing and you look on the championship season. You can see how the season actually progresses. You can see the first couple of rounds were difficult, and then all of a sudden something clicks, and then you start getting the podiums. You've always been quick. We know that. You've been that through Superstock, through Stock 6. We've seen it over the last 3 or 4 years. And then all of a sudden, the penny drops. We get to Cadwell, and you get to stand on the top of the step of the podium for the first time in Supersport, which was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, Cadwell, obviously a circuit I love, but it was just I got there and I felt good on the bike. There's a weird weekend. The sun was shining, and I knew that I could win. And I know that's the mindset of a rider is probably 90% of the job, and I understand that. But this time, I really felt like I could win. And yeah, I had even Cheeky coming up to me because the race got red flagged, and then halfway through, he said, "Oh, how are you feeling?" I was like, "Yeah, feeling up for it." Like, felt mint. So to get that win was good. I feel like I could have won a couple more races like Assen. I got pipped on the last corner, and could have had a couple more wins, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. I didn't. I got a couple of podiums, which was nice. It was, like I say, that Binch Pro Racing was new to the Ducati, so I developed that with them. And with Ollie, he was also a good rider, but we were working together to try and evolve the Ducati and get used to it and get some data. And we was against like Ben Curry, who's had years on that bike, and Jax, who's been years on his Honda. So it was tough, but it was we did a good job.
I think that's a bit of an understatement, because with the amount of talent you're racing against, Luke Stapleford, Rhys Irwin, Jack Kennedy, Ben Curry, there's a fair amount of Supersport titles in that lot, and you were mixing it with them every week.
Yeah, like you say, I started off, and then I got gradually better, and then I finished 5th in the championship, but I was a top 5 guy every weekend, so I was one of the topper guys towards the end, so that was a nice feeling. It didn't matter what track we went to, we was knocking on the door of the podiums. So I think it was 8 podiums and a win I think I got. So to get that, it was good, and we were strong at every track in the end. So we went from a bike that we didn't have any settings to every variety of track, and we were strong. So I was thankful for Binch Racing, because I joined the team, I joined the bike, not knowing what was going to happen. I was still sulking, and they brought me back to reality, knowing I need to get better, knowing like it's no giving, these lads are faster in this class. So it was a lot of lessons learned last year, and I think it's evolved me as a person and a rider. So it's been a year later, but it's worth it.
We've spoken 5 or 6 times over the years on various podcasts, and watching your progress has been fascinating. Because when you go back to Stock 6 in that epic battle against Jack Nixon, there was always a point where you know that Joe's wearing his heart on his sleeve, and your emotions got the better of you, but that's who you are. That's the bit that I enjoy. You're not afraid to show your emotions, but as you get older and you understand more about you, and if I dare use the word maturing, this is something that's been great to see as well as your riding.
Yeah, I don't think having emotions is necessarily just a bad thing. I do feel like you have got to have emotions, like you said. People like to see it, but I've harnessed it in a lot. When I was younger, it was too emotional, and then that affected my riding, and that's not how you become a great rider. So, yeah, I think that's my personality, so I'll never be able to get rid of that. I'm trying to dull it down, but at the same time, it fuels me. So I'm trying to harness it, I'm trying to bottle it, I'm trying to just look like not do anything out of rash. So yeah, it's a good thing to have, but I've had over the years and over the racing career now, only a short career, but I'm learning each year I develop. So it's them lessons, like I was saying before, that you learn year on year. So that's why I believe now is a great time to do it.
Don't ever change who you are on that side of it, because it's part of what makes you who you are. As we look forward now to 2026, with the AJN Steelstock Bimota team, you're in a factory-supported team in the British Superbike Championship as a rookie, as we were speaking just outside earlier on, in quite possibly the most stacked year that we've ever got in British Superbikes for 2026.
Yeah, I've not chosen easy year at all. I know BSB is always stacked, but this 2026 looks incredible with the riders that are in it. And it's not just the riders, it's the machinery they're on. I feel like I can't really choose a rider who doesn't want to be on that bike. There's some riders like in the past where they wish they was back on what they was on, and now they are. So, well, no excuses for anyone really. Everyone's got that mentality like they're going to win. I know they always do, but I feel like 2026 they really believe that. They've got the package that they want, and yeah, there's at least 10 guys in there that. So if I ever get a top 10, I've done a bloody good job. So even though it's going to be that tough, it's just going to make me better. And I think with the years on, hopefully my career goes on and on and on, and I'm going to look back on 2026 and go, yeah, that was the year that really developed me as a rider. So the challenge is immense, but I'm ready to take it on.
Which part of the challenge are you looking forward to the most at the minute?
Going out of pit lane, going out of a garage, going out of pit lane and getting behind Kyle Ride, getting behind Scott Redding, and getting behind Brad. So that's even though I'll be racing against these guys and it'll take me, I'll get probably halfway through the year and I'll just see him as another racer. Of course I will. But for now, I appreciate who they are. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I'll be too, here you go by. But I'm still a rookie in the class. I appreciate that to become a British Superbike rider, not everyone does. So I'm going to try and cherish that moment while I can, because I know it's this year. It will only be that year, and then you'll go into my second year and I'll be wanting to fight near the top. So I've got to appreciate the riders I'm riding against and just go and enjoy it, really. Go and enjoy the process of learning, go and enjoy what I'm achieving. So can't wait.
The other side of things as well, when you look at your career, and I don't know whether this is right, wrong, or indifferent, you'll know this better than me, but I feel the year on Supersport will have done you more good than jumping straight from a stocker to a Superbike, because there's nobody yet that's done that and had success straight away, whereas the Supersport riders that have come through have settled quicker because they haven't got to deal with the change in electronics. So for me, it feels like going and doing a year's Supersport will have done you a favour, because you're not in that stock 1,000 kit electronics mode. You've got a bit more of an open mind in terms of a Superbike.
Yeah. I think there's pros and cons for the routes. I do appreciate that. And swinging arm pivots, head angle, it's like a mini Superbike, especially a 955 Ducati. Do you know what I mean? So I've come off a good bike, because the Ducati V2 I was on didn't have a lot of edge grip either. So you've got to ride it a bit like a Superbike, but with momentum.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that. Stocked out the electronics, you can get too. You see riders that get too used to the electronics, but the style, it's more you're going that fast. You see, so obviously a super sport bike is a lot slower. You're flat out, and
Jennifer,
you're on 600. You're on 600 lines on a super sport bike. So yeah, there's pros and cons, but yeah, I agree. It's just like we were saying before, another year on, learning different machinery, different way of riding, getting used to head angles, pivots. So it's not necessarily like I'll go into Superbike and never heard of them terms that they're going to use. So yeah, maybe it's done me well, maybe it hasn't. I do think the stock though is good, because especially when I was in it, well, it still is. It's a really tough class. I know every class is tough, but it's you're going on a stock 1,000 bike and you're riding it as flat out as you can. So there's a lot of riders who go to Spain and go just as quick on a Superbike, on a stock that they do on a Superbike. So you ride stock bikes as hard as you can, you ride Supersport as hard as you can. I feel like anything you ride at the highest level at BSB, it's just, you're always going to develop.
It's something I can't wait to see you get going on it. It's going to be spectacular next year. Every point you earn will be well earned. As we said, it's a stacked field. You're where you belong. You've got your chance. I can't wait to see how you get on, Joe.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Joe Talbot.
He is absolute class. Like, so much time for Joe. Followed his career, as we said in that chat, for the last 4 or 5 years. And it's so good to see him maturing and getting that opportunity that was cruelly taken away from him at the start of 2025. Patience is a virtue. And here he is. He gets his opportunity with Darren Fry, Nigel Snook, and the AJN Steelstock FS3 Bimota British Superbike team. That's it from Motorcycle Live for 2025. The next episode, as we said at the top of the show, will be Roger Burnett. We can't wait to sit down with Roger at Laceby Manor. And then we're back up at the Molesdale Foundation for John Crawford and Stuart Easton a week on Sunday as I sit and record this now. If you want your tickets, make sure you head over, molesdalefoundation.org. Come and join us if you can. If not, we'll have the show ready for you in 2 or 3 weeks' time. In the meantime, thank you so very much for watching. Thank you so very much for listening. And please do look after yourself. Bye-bye.